She's saying to him she's not sure how much she can do for him. She can try, but could he do something for her? Hi, this is Cass from Aussie Cass Plays, and welcome to part 4 of the Night Generation of my Medieval Legacy Challenge. We're at Rose's house at the moment. He's had his first day of work officially as a squire. I know he was effectively a squire before that. As a teen, I had him already as a squire, but he's come over to see his grandmother. Basically, he wants to find out about what he can do, or what she can do maybe, to intervene with Lord Jackson to hopefully get him to agree Gerard can court Christina. Now, the reason he's talking to Rose is she had a lot of connections with the nobles. She was our servant Jen Eyre. I love how she just went inside and they're now talking through the wall. It's great. She had a lot of connections, but the thing is her connections were mainly with Jackson's mother and father. Both really liked Rose, and Mortimer obviously really liked Rose. They're all dead. So she's saying that she doesn't think she can help him directly because all of her contacts, the people who potentially would have been willing to grant him an audience based on his connection to her, those people have all passed away. And she's like, look, if Isabella was still alive, I'd suggest you should talk to her because she would have potentially been able to sway Victor as the Lord of the Goth household. Sorry, I'm throwing a lot of names at you guys. So Lord Victor Goth is the one who will decide whether or not his brother Magnus can marry Christina, because that is what Jackson said he was going to do, was have Magnus marry Christina. She's like, look, you can try reaching out to Martha, but I don't know how you'll go because she hasn't, I'm just going to put that wall up so we can have a bit of privacy. She hasn't been super interested in engaging with her peasant farming family. She was raised as like the lesser cousin of nobility. She doesn't like the reminder that she has, you know, a servant aunt and her uncles and her cousins are farmers. Now, the thing is, farmers, if they're doing well, become landholders, and it's a very different vibe. And I do actually think because the farm is doing quite well now and they own it outright, they're not doing it as like serfs or whatever, I do actually think that they would have a bit more clout in the community. But, you know, a blacksmith and a former bartender and like party host, not the most kind of glamorous family background. So he's thanking Rose for her advice and he's now going to head across to Martha's house. She lives in Windenburg. Windenburg is the kingdom, but she lives... Where does she... Why is there a Yamachan in this house? I have questions. Anyway, okay, so this is the house Martha lives in. It's obviously not the huge goth manor that she grew up in. It's a decent size house. This is a good house for medieval times, but, you know, compared to what she grew up with, it's a bit of a downgrade. She does have a butler and stuff. I decided, you know, she's got enough money for that, so at least she's not having to do her own washing is all. So I'll show you guys around real quick. I got this place from the gallery, but I did make a few changes to it, like cluttered up the kitchen and stuff. I do like a cluttered kitchen. I added a bar here because her husband is the kind that would like a bar. We've got the photo of her and her mum when she was a little girl with a pot plant in front of it, so you can't really see it, but still Martha and little Isabella when she was young. We have a music box, which is CC. We've got upstairs. This is their bedroom. The only problem with the layout here is this was like a 3-bed bedroom because medieval times you kind of pack the kids in. And I've turned it into like a sitting room, but I don't actually know if and when they have children where the kids are going to go, because the kids would have to go through the parents' room to get up here. I might actually wall this off ultimately, just so they have a bit of privacy. She's got a piano because Martha likes to play piano. And oh, here she is. She's on the typewriter. Of course she is. It's a computer. I figured she gets a typewriter. This basement in the lot that I downloaded was actually empty. I should quickly, let me just open the gallery and see if I was smart enough to favorite the download. Apparently I did not. Like a boss. But if you search for medieval manor, it'll be one of those results. I just outfitted this room. So this is the butler's room. Then we've got a little gaming room for Martha's husband and his friends, because he is the kind of person who likes to sit around and play cards with his friends and drink and gamble. This is like the butler's kind of storage for the house, you know, food and like a crafting table and stuff like that. So it's quite a cute little house, actually. I'm sorry, I can't remember who made it. Oh my god, this is a thing, by the way, that I hate. It automatically puts up Christmas lights and stuff on houses you're not playing, which is all very festive but not very medieval. Like, the reason every house I play has an attic stack box so I can take the decorations down. Anyway, it's fine. I'm gonna have him come up here, and I guess we'll say hello to Martha's husband. I'm going to probably say this wrong. Georgie? Is that how you say that? Georgie. It's Georgie, right? I'm not sure. So I'm going to say Georgie. Let me know if that's wrong in the comments and I will correct it. So this was a sim made by Purple Dragon. If you search for hashtag ACP Medieval, so Aussie Cast Plays Medieval, then you'll be able to see all of the awesome sims Purple Dragon has made for me. This is one of them. This is Georgie. He's a handsome fella, not gonna lie. I did change his clothes and give him like CC eyelashes and stuff. His traits led me to believe I think he's got like ambitious, materialistic, those kind of traits. I actually genuinely can't remember. He's definitely, I mean, Martha's an attractive lady, but I think he had his eyes on that slice of the goth fortune. He's very politely bowing to the wall. Let's show appreciation to him again. Thank you. And he's technically not a lord. He's a Mr. Bennett. Let's compliment his outfit. It's very fine. Tell him an engaging story. He's basically saying, you know, I'm a cousin to your lady wife and was wondering if I might call upon her. I've, you know, just recently moved back to Windenburg. And I think Georgie's possibly assuming Gerard is here to ask for money. But he's like, you may call upon her if you wish. So I wonder if it actually has the relationship. Oh, I forgot he had this. Get a significant other in the next 6 days. No pressure on me at all. Oh my gosh, they got a sentiment just now. Growing closer. He feels like he's growing closer to Georgie. Or Georgie. How am I pronouncing that? I don't even know. So technically she's his second cousin once removed. Does that sound right? So his grandmother's sister's daughter. I think that makes them second cousins once removed, I believe, but I'm not 100% sure. Once you start getting into cousins, it's all a bit, you know, difficult. Let's do a polite introduction to Martha, who's also taking a photo of herself. Even though she hates photography, I hate how they do that. So he's introducing himself to Martha. She's a gloomy creative bookworm, by the way. Bookworm she had as a child, and I think she got creative as a teen, and then I gave her gloomy. Does run in the family. I think I gave Alexander gloomy. Mortimer's definitely a bookworm. I can't remember if he was gloomy, but I thought maybe, you know, it runs in the family a little bit. Let's show appreciation to her. She's clearly not super happy to have a cousin from that side of the family call on her. First, I think, because he's not a silly boy, he's reasonably socially adept. So he's explaining how he's just moved back from, you know, he grew up in Glimmerbrook, but he's just moved back to Windenburg because he's apprenticed to Sir Stuart Hart to be a knight, which I think she'd be quite approving of because, you know, she's keen that her family do better, so she's not embarrassed by them, basically. So she's like, you know, she's quite interested in that. But he's also going to say that he hates to ask, but he wanted to ask if she could do him a favor because she, you know, obviously is quite close to Lord Goth and, you know, maybe hang on, wait. They're not flirting. What is going on? She looks like she's flirting, but it says she's tense. And he just did a mischief interaction. Dude. Apparently she liked that. She can't flirt with him. They're cousins. That's gross. Yeah, he's basically saying, look, my understanding, my grandmother Rose told me that you're quite close to Lord Goth. So I'm going to have him do a deep conversation with her. If I can find it. Share a secret, I guess. That's effectively the same thing. Look how fast this is going up. They're obviously vibing. Object to mischief. Dude, you did the mischief. So basically, he's explaining about his childhood friend, Christina Honeycutt, and how, they have feelings for one another, and she has his heart, and he's waxing lyrical a little bit about that, and she's walking off. It's going well. No, Martha, no. Sit together. Was that make a flirtatious joke? Do these guys have romantic interactions? Wait, I do need to check that, just so I know, because I'd hate for them to get in trouble. He's basically saying, look, Christina and I have feelings for one another. Lord Jackson does not approve of the match. He does not like me at all. Yeah, they do have romance as an option. He was being, he attacked his wife. He hit his wife. And I saw it happen and I intervened. And he hates me. And he hates me even more now that he knows that I am interested in his daughter. He thinks I'm an unsuitable match. And she's like, well, that's a tragic tale, Gerard, but what do you want me to do? And he's like, well, he said that he's going to marry Christina to Magnus, Victor's younger brother. And I was wondering if there was anything you could do to help me stop that from happening, because obviously if Christina is wed to Magnus, then any hope I have of being with my love dies, withers on the vine. Now, she's saying to him she's not sure how much she can do for him. She can try, but could he do something for her? Now, they are not in earshot of her husband. And she's saying, look, Magnus and my husband are, they like to play cards together and drink together. They're basically gambling buddies. I don't know what the phrase would be in medieval times. They have entertainment preferences in common. We were given money by my nephew, but I'm a little bit concerned that he's going to burn through it and then we will become impoverished. We don't have as ready a source of income as the Goth family does. I'm wondering if there's anything you could do to rein in his excesses. He's going to agree to try, but he's not really sure what he's going to do to help her, because what can he do? They just got another sentiment, didn't they? He feels adoring of her and close to her, and she's got a happy memory associated with him. That's great. I wasn't actually sure they'd get on, especially when I showed up and she was tense. But he's won Martha over. Now she's really tired and so's he. So I'm actually going to have him say goodbye. He's expressing his admiration for her. She's an impressive woman. He can see a lot in her that reminds him of his grandmother, and Martha's probably offended by that. And he's talking Rose up and saying, look, she's a very impressive woman. She was good friends with your father. So it's probably best not to look down on her because of her birth and her life. Your own father deemed that she was worthy to call a friend, which is something Martha's going to have to think about. But we're going to head home. It's the next day. It is Saturday morning, so he doesn't actually have work until Monday. Now, one thing I did flag with this custom content career is it's not very high paying. He's getting $8 an hour. So for his one day of work that he did, which I did off screen, he worked Friday, he got 64 simoleons. So times that by 5 and you do not get enough to pay the 827 simoleon bills that we have. So I am going to have him supplement his income at least until he can get promoted. I'm thinking I'll just have him continue to work on crafts and sell things when he has them via Plopsy. It won't be much extra, but I figure it's enough to kind of stop us going too far into the red. There's a reason why I underspent by 10,000 simoleons. As far as the situation with Georgie and Magnus goes, the thing is, there's nothing illegal about what Georgie's doing. And because he is the man of the house, it was her money that paid for the house and the savings that they're living on. The household funds, or maybe mostly her money. I expect he had a little bit, but it's mostly her money. The flip side of that is he owns it because he owns her, because it's medieval times and she doesn't have her own independent money now. It goes to him. She's probably squirreled something away. She's not a silly girl. She's like a creative bookworm. She's probably cooked the books so that he can't find some of the money. But at the same time, what Georgie's doing, if he's going out playing cards and hanging out with his friend Magnus, you okay? He's not doing anything that could get him in trouble with the knighthood. He's not breaking the law. Probably the best thing that Gerard could hope to do is make the point to Georgie that he is watching and that he will take it amiss. Basically threaten the guy. He'll take it amiss if Georgie impoverishes Gerard's cousin. He's thinking this all through as I'm thinking it through as he's doing his craft. And that's the only conclusion he can come to. Like, he could talk to Sir Stuart. Maybe the two of them together could talk to Georgie, because obviously Gerard's not a knight yet. So a squire turning up and saying, hey, you know, don't spend all my cousin's money, you. Yeah, that's not going to get very far. And the other flip side of that, the consequence of that, if he approaches it that way, is it's going to annoy Magnus. And Magnus is the one who would be betrothed to Christina. And he's thinking to himself, well, if I alienate Magnus, like if she does end up married to him, then I'll never be able to see her. He will prevent me from seeing her. He can't abide that idea because she is like his best friend, as well as the fact that, you know, he's falling in love with her. He doesn't want to have to say goodbye to her and never see her again. So he's really struggling with it, because there's two options. He can either try and befriend Magnus and Georgie, or he can do what Martha wants and put a stop to the gambling and the drinking. What he's trying to think through is which one will win him the favour of Magnus's older brother. Because obviously alienating Magnus and Georgie, but keeping Martha and Victor on side, is the most likely to get the outcome he wants, which is for Magnus not to marry Christina. In a way, what he's doing is very selfish, because Christina marrying into the Goth household is almost the best match she could hope for in the kingdom. The best match in the kingdom would be a direct descendant of the royal family, but the king is married and his son is an infant. So that's not an option. There's no eligible prince for her to marry. Oh, classic toddler bed. Oh, I'm going to have him make a toddler bed and we'll keep it for later. Yeah, what he's doing is very selfish in that sense, but I think he's confident because she also wants it. It's not like he's acting without her blessings. She wants to marry him. She's indicated that she's amenable to that. That is what makes it acceptable in my mind. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to wrap this part up here. Let me know what you guys think of whether we try and befriend Georgie and Magnus, or whether we go the threaten Georgie to get on Martha's good side. I'm kind of leaning towards the latter based on the fact that he's now BFFs with Martha and the fact that Martha has sway with Victor. And that's probably the more important bit. So let me know what you think. I'm going to wrap this one up here. Like I said, if you've enjoyed, please like and subscribe. You know the drill. Don't forget to wash your hands. I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.